Homeboys in Outer Space. People have talked about it. We know about it. We know what it is. A forgotten, unforgettable, a underrated, a correctly rated, really depending on who you ask, TV show. It was something. It was something. This was your prototypical late 90s, mid tier, low tier, geared towards African Americans comedy sitcom. UPN. So I think a lot of people knew what it was and they may have known what we were going to get. I think this show could have been so much more. It could have been better, a lot better than what it was. I watched the pilot, I watched the first episode. I may watch a few more episodes. I don't think I'm going to do a deep dive, but I did watch some of it. And for the time, the sets, the effects, the creatures, the sci-fi stuff, it didn't look bad. It wasn't bad, but it still had a lot weighing it down. The laugh track was bad. The jokes would just be like random and then people would be laughing. And it was like there wasn't really set up to the jokes. This is mid-tier African American comedy sitcom by UPN. So that says a lot. What this show could have been, what it had the potential to be, I think it could have been a lot. I'm not going to say this show was ahead of its time. It possibly was, but I think it could have been a lot more than what it is. It's one of those shows where it's small enough and enough people know about it to where they could remake it and say it was a remake and it would still seem like an original idea. So I wonder if other people have ideas of, and I know you're not supposed to throw ideas out there, you're supposed to hold ideas close to the chest, and this may be a bad idea, but what would a good remake of Homeboys in Outer Space look like? First and foremost, don't call it Homeboys in Outer Space. You have to come up with a new name. You could lean into the Homeboys in Outer Space, maybe make it an acronym or something like that, but you wouldn't want to outright call it Homeboys in Outer Space. My personal opinion. You'd want to lean into the comedy aspects of it, but you would want to have a good balance. There would need to be a good balance for this show to work. Just because the concept, especially with the way that they did it, is so out there that you have to have a good balance. It can be wacky, but it has to be wacky in a smart way. It has to be wacky in a well-written way. As far as concept, this is my potentially bad idea, possibly depending of what a good concept may be for a remake of Homeboys in Outer Space. So let's say it's the near distant future. It's the future. Let's say there is a united Black and African people led by a president, Umar Ifatunde Johnson, or Johnson Ifatunde Umar, something. The president is tired of the way in which the people are treated on the planet Earth. He's like, let me get this crew together, let me get this team together. It's time for us to explore. It's time for us to reach beyond the stars, see what else is out there, because we're not getting treated the way that we should be. These guys, they go out into space, but you don't make it based on how Black people are treated. Yes, Black people are treated badly. You make it based on the human experience in space, because you want it to be relatable to everybody. There could be episodes where, yes, they deal with things specifically to Black people, but you also want to have episodes that they deal with stuff that humans deal with. You want to try to gear it towards everybody. That's my idea, just the kind of beginning concept. What would your ideas be for a remake of Homeboys in Outer Space? Let me hear them.